Welcome to our channel, Living on Florida's Treasure Coast. Today we're going to go over some of the details of the National Association of Realtors settlement and what that entails for a buyer. And we're going to give you some helpful information if you're looking to buy a property. And if you stick with us to the end, we are going to give you some of a short list of the top places to retire here in the United States. So come along with us as we go over some of this information. If this is your first time visiting the channel and you want to know more about living on the Treasure Coast of Florida, then subscribe below and tap that bell so you can get notifications and be the first to know about what's happening here with the current market on the Treasure Coast. I'm Donald Nally and this is my wife,
Katie Nally. You know, we get calls every day from people just like you, so feel free to reach out to us. All of our information is in the description box below. Whether you're moving in just a few days or you're moving in several months, we'll be happy to help you make a stress-free move to the Treasure Coast of Florida.
Okay, we're going to give you some information right now from the National Association of Realtors. And so if you're a home buyer working with an agent who is a realtor, it means you are working with a professional ethically obligated to work in your best interest. As of August 17, 2024, you will be asked to sign, and we're past that date, so you're going to be asked to sign a written buyer agreement after you've chosen the professional that you want to work with. And here's what you should know about these agreements.
What is a written buyer agreement and what does it do? A written buyer agreement is an agreement between any buyer and the real estate professional they are working with. It outlines the services of the real estate professional that they will provide you and what they will be paid for those services.
And so here's a good question for you. As a buyer, you want to know, why are you being asked to sign this agreement?
The written buyer agreements became a nationwide requirement for many real estate professionals as a part of the National Association of Realtors' proposed settlement of litigation related to broker commissions. The requirement went into effect on August 17th of this year, 2024.
Another good question is, are these agreements new? Are they something that they just came up with, or have they been around for a while?
They've been around for a good while, but many of the realtors that I know weren't using them. Some may have been, but many were not. Many states have required them for years, as I say, but many were not. As a result, it's entirely possible that you or others you know have not used them in the recent past. Regardless, they are now a nationwide requirement for many real estate professionals.
Yes, and because what it means, you now have to have a document saying that you're working with a realtor. And so, are these agreements negotiable? Can you negotiate?
That's the big question here, and the answer is yes. You should feel empowered to negotiate any aspect of the agreement with your real estate professional, such as the services you want to receive, the length of the agreement, and the compensation. If any compensation between you and your real estate professional is negotiable and not set by law in the written agreement, the compensation must be clearly defined. It could be a flat fee, a percent, or an hourly rate. And it cannot be open-ended, and it cannot be a range. Only sign an agreement that reflects what you have agreed with your real estate professional.
In other words, once you sign that agreement, that's the price point you will be paying your real estate professional. So you may want to know, as a consumer, how do you benefit from these agreements?
Yes, these agreements should clearly lay out what services as a home buyer you're expecting your realtor to provide and what your real estate professional will be paid. These agreements should make things clear and reduce any potential confusion at the outset of your relationship.
Yes, with us, your real estate professionals. So the next question would be, when do you as a consumer need to sign an agreement?
And you will be asked to sign that written agreement before you tour a home.
Or before your realtor or real estate professional takes you to any showings of any properties.
Right, either in person or virtually. If you're simply visiting an open house on your own or asking a real estate professional about their services, you don't need to sign the agreement.
Right, so they don't apply to open houses. If someone has an open house and you just go to that open house by yourself, you don't need an agreement. But if you are working with an agent and you're asking them to show you a specific property, then you need to have a buyer broker agreement signed before they can take you to show you any property. Next question would be, does this mean that I have to pay my real estate professional out of pocket?
And the answer is not necessarily. While you are responsible for paying your real estate professional as outlined by your agreement, you can still request, negotiate for, and receive compensation for your real estate professional from the seller or their agent.
In other words, once you put in a contract on a property, you can add into that contract that you're asking if there's any concessions or any possibility of the seller giving money back to help pay closing costs.
Right. In the past, the compensation for the buyer's agent and the seller's agent was paid for by the seller. And oftentimes the seller is still willing to cover that cost in order to get buyers to their property.
Yes. They just don't call it, they just don't add it in as the commission on the listing side anymore, where there would be a certain percentage and then that would be split between the seller's brokerage and the buyer's brokerage. Now they negotiate with their seller, their listing agent, what they're going to pay their listing agent, and then there could be some concessions put in that would help get the deal closed. That would be a give back to the buyer. All these areas are negotiable, and this is why it's important that you work with a real estate professional when it comes to buying homes or even selling homes. And so that we can look out for you, the consumer, because it's always about the consumer and what benefits you. So the next question is, do these agreements dictate a specific type of relationship I need to have with my real estate professional?
And the answer to that question is no. You are allowed to enter into any type of business relationship with your real estate professional that is allowed by state law where you live.
And what does it mean by relationships? It means like in Florida, commonly when we enter into a real estate brokerage relationship with the consumers, it's a transactional. We enter in as a transactional agent, which means we have certain requirements. Then there's other different types of relationship like single agent. But all these relationships are designed to look out for the consumer and the specific needs of the consumer. So there's not any certain relationship that you enter into.
A transaction broker means that we are required to deal fairly, honestly, and ethically with both sides of the deal, the buyer and the seller.
Yes.
That's what it means by being a transaction broker.
Can I change or exit an agreement?
Yes, you can. You and your real estate professional can mutually agree to change your agreement. Agreements may have specific conditions under which they can be exited. So read your agreement and speak with your real estate professional if you'd like to change or exit your agreement.
Yes. And so we're going to give you a disclaimer here. These practices may vary based on state and local law. Consult your real estate professional and or consult an attorney for details about state law where you are purchasing a home. And if you want any more of these facts, these consumer guides, you can find them at facts.realtor. If you just put that in, facts.realtor. It'll take you to a NAR facts page, and you can look over all these consumer guides for buyers, for sellers, any other questions you may have on the National Association of Realtors settlements. It's all on that page. It's there for you, the consumer, to help you better understand this business.
Yes, but the big takeaway is that for the buyer to understand that what a realtor is paid in commission is always a negotiable thing.
And we have to disclose that to you, and you come to an agreement before you ever move forward in any kind of real estate deal.
Yes.
Okay, so we said we was going to give you a short list of the best places to retire. And so this is according to the U.S. News and World Report. And it named 3 Florida cities to its 2025 best places to retire in the U.S. top 10 list. And there were another 7 Florida cities in the top 20. And so what's that based on, dear?
That's based on how well American retirees' expectations were measured according to happiness, affordability, healthcare, desirability, retiree taxes, and job market.
Yes, and retirees noted overall happiness of a place's residence as the top consideration when determining a place to retire in 2025. And so, in other words, according to the residents, the people who lived in that area, that's what that was the number one reason why they looked for happiness, was the neighbors and how the people were in the area. And so they ranked Naples at number 1.
Right. And then as number 4, they ranked Sarasota. And number 7 as Jacksonville.
Yeah. And so the top 10 list of the best places to retire was number 1, Naples. Number 2, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Number 3, New York City, New York. Number 4, Sarasota. Number 5, Boise, Idaho.
Number 6, Raleigh, North Carolina. Number 7, Jacksonville.
Number 8, Huntsville, Alabama.
And number 9, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Number 10, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yes, but out of the top 150, there were other Florida cities included, but many of them was in the top 20. You had Pensacola, Tampa, Port St. Lucie, and that's where we're at, Port St. Lucie, Melbourne. All these are Florida cities, and we really dominated in the top 20. So
yes, Fort Myers was number 24, Lakeland 34, Orlando 55, Tallahassee number 69, Daytona Beach was 77, Ocala 81, and Miami 127.
And so what we're going to do, in our next video, we are going to do a video on the best places to retire. And so be looking for that video. And if you got any good information out of here, or anything that could help you and you want to know more, please subscribe, like this video, share it, ring that bell so you'll get notifications.
If you need help with buying or selling a property, please contact us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, our information is in the comments section below. Again, thank you for watching today, and until next time, this is Living on Florida's Treasure Coast.